Four comedians are also real good friends, working on jokes, the fun never ends. They're asking each other, is this anything?
So chicken fingers are it's a comfort food for me, but something that I often cannot eat because of gluten. But I discovered that you can just make breadcrumbs out of gluten-free bread by toasting them, tearing them into small pieces, actual gluten-free bread, and putting it in a blender. And then you put a bunch of spices in, thyme, rosemary, onion powder, salt, pepper, and you don't even have to season the chicken. It's now all going to be in the breadcrumbs. Dip it in some egg, put the breadcrumbs on there, and then fry it up 4 minutes each side, and you have the best chicken fingers I've ever had in my entire life.
Brett,
incredible.
The audacity of you thinking that a story about something that you ate would be interesting is the most infuriating thing that I have ever heard in my entire life.
Why would we want to hear that?
Who cares?
What?
I also burned myself.
And also, why would...
you burned it?
there
Okay,
we
I
go.
wanna hear.
That's a
All
story.
right, burning yourself.
That's
Here,
a
now we're on.
story.
I was going to call you
I
Brett
got it.
Fieri. So that was
Where is it? There it
what
is.
I was going to...
Oh no!
Yeah.
He actually burned himself. This is
Yeah, I burned myself like really bad, like it's blistering.
Fuck.
What kind of
Yeah,
chicken did you
dope.
use to cut?
Hot chicken.
Boiling hot.
The kind
What kind of
that
chicken can I use
burns your forearms really badly.
What kind of chicken can I use to get that kind of burn?
Rob, how are you doing, man? What's going on with you?
I had nothing to share that's cool or interesting. Sorry. Anthony,
You want to go burn yourself real quick?
I had some
Bad at
kimchi before this.
See, there's a
there we go.
story.
Let's talk about
there's
that.
a story.
Tell us about it.
I was eating it out of a bowl with chopsticks.
Ooh.
So that's how you know I'm better than you guys.
Delicious.
Wow.
You did remind me of a joke that what's his name? I used to open for. God, I can't remember his name. He's like very dirty. His act is very dirty, and
Gaffigan?
I'll remember the name.
Mitch
some other time.
Patel?
Yeah, Mitch Patel. There you go.
Whoa.
And
I knew
so-
that Rob had opened for him and that he's dirty.
Yeah. So I was he had this like funny way of doing crowd work because he's just he's very unassuming and he's very sweet, but then he just is able to say dirty things. He was like, he talked to a girl. He's like, oh, so you came out tonight. That's nice. He's like, so, what did you do? What did you do? He's like, I just came out. He's like, I just, came to the show. Yeah, but like, what did you do? What did you do? He's like, I don't know. I got, how did you get ready? He's like, yeah, I got ready. He's like, okay. Like, did you shower? She's like, yeah, cool. Tell me about it. It's like, this is really weird. Like, he has this very slick, gross way of being. And the boyfriend's always there. The husband's always there. And so he just manages the two so well. It's so funny. Anytime the husband jumps in, he's like, hey, hold on. I'm having a conversation with Cindy, okay? Anyway, I just always loved that crowd work. It was just a great way to implement like things that you already know is going to happen with it was really well done.
Wait, so my kimchi story reminded you of that?
Yeah, someone said tell me about it. Maybe I did. But that was the whole thing.
Can I tell you guys a story?
No, this whole thing is just so you could tell a story. I should have
That's
fucking
not
known.
true.
You didn't care about my
That's
kimchi.
not true. We've
Once
been
you
Give a
doing
shit
Kimchi
about
was
my kimchi,
over.
Jarret.
We've been doing the catch-ups for a long time. Nobody ever asked me because I'm always the one who offers. I'm always the one. I'll tell a story, but no one's like, "Hey, Jarret, what's up with you?"
We never get a chance.
we know that you're gonna force it on us.
I waited. This time I waited. And by the way, you guys had nothing. You guys had nothing. I got something. I have something, and yet I all right, no. Brett's burned. Okay, yeah, sorry. That's my bad.
I'm sorry, Jarret.
Jim Gaffigan follows me on Twitter. That's
Oh,
what
that's
I.
dope.
Oh,
That's
this
my
is a
story.
good story. I like
That's
that
great.
story.
I tweeted about a couple years ago. I did a show where he dropped in, and so I'm getting off stage, and he's standing there ready to go on, and he as I'm walking by him, he just whispers in my ear. He goes, "Hey, I saw some of your set," but he didn't tell me what he thought. He just told me that he saw some of it, and then he went on stage, and that was it. I didn't talk to him, so I tweeted that, and and then I tagged him in it, so he liked the tweet, and then he followed me, and
That's cool.
and then he posted a video, like a clip of him from one of his specials, and I replied to the tweet. I was like, I watched this clip. But he didn't like it. So we'll see.
Ah,
Well, we don't know if he didn't like it. We just know that he didn't like it.
Yeah, he might have
He
seen
didn't
it.
push the like button. He might have liked it.
And then Noodles from The Offspring replied to my tweet, and he was like, I saw a full set of yours once. I thought that was great.
awesome.
It is always so bizarre to me when people do stuff like that. It's more bizarre that it's a comic, because unless he was doing that as like that's a thing he
As a
does, like
joke.
almost in a
Yeah.
Bill Murray-esque way,
Yeah.
like
No,
this will be a funny thing that'll fuck with the comic.
Yeah.
It's if it's a self-aware thing that makes sense to me. But when people are just like, they'll tell me they're like, hey, I listen to your podcast, and I'm like, nah, and I don't care if it's good or bad, but just don't leave it there. Don't leave me wondering.
Oh, I said I did Jim Gaffigan like watch your set story type of thing as well. This is I believe my first year in New York City, probably the first like summer that I was actually working and trying to do stand up. And I was working for Aaron Haber at the World Comedy Club, selling tickets, getting on stage, and I would just try to sell enough tickets to get my 5 minutes or whatever. But that same summer, Jim Gaffigan was working on like his third special or something, and so he was coming in night after night, going downstairs, doing a spot on the downstairs room. Then he'd come upstairs, and he would do a spot at the World. So like all summer long was like, this is the coolest thing in my life. I was like, I'm in New York, I'm doing stand up, and then I'm like sharing a stage with like Jim Gaffigan, who I love. Like this is so awesome. I invited my brothers to see the show at some point, and I was like, I don't know, Jim Gaffigan might come. He has been, but I can't promise. I'm not sure. And then one night he did come, and my brothers were there, and Tim was just like, what the hell? He's like, so I could see their like look on their face. I was like, yeah. So it was really fun for me. And then it was timed out where I was supposed to go on right after him. So he effectively like bumped me, and I was like, oh, cool. And then he's like about to go up, and I was like, hey Jim, could you, do you mind sticking around afterwards? Like I wouldn't mind, if you saw my set and just, tell me what you thought or give me feedback or something. And he was very reluctant, but he's like, oh, well, okay, or yeah, we'll And I said, all right, like whatever, no pressure. And so he goes up, he does his thing, does lots of stuff about ketchup, very funny. Then he gets off stage, and whoever the fucking host was, he goes up there, and he immediately goes up and does some shitty bit. Just like, and I was like,
Classic.
just bring me on, man. Just bring me on, And he's sitting there, and he's like, yeah, so, it's fucking people, right? It's just, you know the bitches. I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, Gaffigan, that is right up his alley.
Yeah.
after his type 5 on ketchup.
So he's
Well,
just, like,
that's what he wants to
ruining it.
talk about, but he has to talk. He has to do the clean family stuff. So he loves it when someone's up there just being like, let me tell you about this wet pussy that I licked the other day.
So I'm looking at him, and he sees me in the back of the room. He's just like, and he's staying. He doesn't bolt right out the door. So I'm like, I was like, just 1 minute. We're good. This is gonna happen, right? And then the host, instead of just bringing me right up, he launches into some bit, and the bit's long, and it's not good. I'm just like, okay. And he's looking at me, and he's like, he's standing there, and then the comic finishes his terrible joke. The joke gets no laughs. He's like, all right, so I was at the mall the other day, and he launches like into another bit.
No.
And as soon as he starts the second bit, Jim turns to me, he's like, I gotta go. I was like,
poor
yeah,
Ron.
that's fine. I get it. Why?
That,
Why the second bit? You're the host, and you're not doing a good job.
That reminds me of this one time I was doing a show at Beauty Bar in Manhattan, and I was next. Like the last minute, the comic before me got the light. I'm about to go on, and then Zach Galifianakis walks in, and he just knows one of the other comics, I think. So he's just like chatting with the other comic in the back. So the comic on stage gets off, the host goes on, and he does what you just said. He because he knows that Zach Galifianakis is there, so he goes into a terrible bit, and so like, and this whole time I'm like, oh shit, Zach Galifianakis might see me perform right now, and this guy goes on so long that Zach Galifianakis leaves, and then he brings me on, and I was like, fuck, man, almost, and he never came back. I don't know what he was chatting about, but
That fucking sucks, man.
he was not interested in dropping in.
Yeah, the more when I do free shows, or just the quality of the mindset of the audience, and also maybe the comics, the newer comics, stuff like that. That stuff always used to drive me crazy when I was just trying to get stage time, because you're watching the crowd actively change. Like, okay, the last comic bombed, but I know how to reset this room and I know how to bring it back, and then the host just drags out the bomb more, and it's just like you're watching people walk out, and it's like, oh, it's just. You're not getting your fair shot. It's so, and you have to not let that get to you before you get on stage.
You are describing to a T exactly what doing late night at comic strip became. Because when I first started doing late night at comic strip, it was great. It was legit. It was like, I was brand new, and it was like, I get passed for late night at comic strip, and then my first night there, it's like, all right, late night starting. Number 1 spot, Sam Morrill. Number 2 spot, Joe Mackey. Number 3, Jarret Berenstein. And I was like, sweet, this is great, man, And it was always like, I don't know, 8 people at the most, Cut to 20 people on the line. They've got some host on there who's just fucking destroying the audience. Number 1 spot
in a good way.
Not a good way. Like, forcing everyone to leave. Walking everybody slowly but surely. The number 1 spot is somebody who's only done stand-up like 3 times in their life, and they're just like eating it. And it's like, I had been doing well at comic strip until things started going that way, and it's like, great, now I only am performing for 2 drunk Australians that managed to stay until 2:00 in the morning.
And you waited from 7 p.m. till 1 a.m. to do it.
I had a fun late night story that I think is appropriate to tell now, because Harrison Greenbaum just got engaged. So congratulations to him.
Harrison.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you can shit all over him.
Now, not me, but this story is about someone shitting on Harrison Greenbaum. So to me, this is not
Harrison Greenbaum. Congratulations on getting engaged. All right. So this dude is just slinging dick at every opportunity. No condoms. He's like, I don't fucking wear condoms. You crazy, man?
But this is just a real story. This isn't trashing anybody. I just want to share this. I don't want this edited out, because this is legit. If you remember, there was a short period of time when the comic strip was deciding to do a live stream of their audition process for the comic strip, but they wanted to go this American Idol route. So they wanted to have there be celebrity comic judges, effectively, who would critique and talk about what the act was. But here's the thing. People who were auditioning, and I don't put Harrison in this category, by the way, at the time, but people who were auditioning to get into the comic strip late night were not ready to be judged by other comics. It wasn't a fair fight. It's like not a nice thing to do. They're just happy to get stage time. So it was this brutal fucking thing where comics who are like 1 or 2 years in are going up, doing 5 minutes in front of a few people, not doing well, and then having their heroes destroy them. It was like the strangest thing. And I was like, why? This isn't fun. This isn't a show. This is crazy.
And it's being recorded.
It's being recorded. So I stopped by one night because I just wanted to get a sense of what it might be like. I was like, shit, if I do this is nerve-wracking as hell. I don't think I want to do this. I was there the night that Harrison was doing his spot, and he goes up and he does very well. Like, he's much better than the other comics. He's competent on stage. Everything's good. And he's just running through all of his material. And Patrice O'Neill is one of the guest judges. And Patrice just will not give him actual feedback. He just calls him gay for the full amount of time. That's all he does. He's like, dude, just be gay. I don't understand. He's like, well, I'm not gay. He's like, it makes more sense for your career if you were just gay. He's like, I'm not gay. He's like, you don't gotta hide it. You don't gotta hide it from these celebrity, from Hollywood. It would be a benefit to you to just come out and just suck dick. And he's like, I'm not. It's like, and he's just begging. He's like, could you just talk about the comedy and whether you liked it or not? And Patrice O'Neal just refused, and he kept on doing it. To me, I don't know. To be shit on that heavily by the late great Patrice O'Neal seems like an honor, maybe.
I wonder if that recording exists anywhere.
I've seen it. It was online for a while. I don't know if it still is, but yeah, I have seen it, and it's brutal. I don't know that I maybe now I would look back, but I feel like I don't know how long Harrison was into stand-up at that point, but in my first few years, that would probably fuck with me quite a bit.
No comic should have gone through that.
Certainly wouldn't be an honor at the time.
No, and for years after, like, there's no way it could have felt good. But only now, me as an outsider who's not even Harrison, could I go, that's actually kind of fun. It's kind of cool.
Almost the exact same thing happened to me with Patrice. He was like, just be black. And I'm like, I'm not black. He's like, it's going to be so much better for your career. Just admit you're black. Just admit it.
Still won't admit it.
I will say, in that situation, I would actually be relieved to have somebody just harp on something that has nothing to do with my comedy when I'm putting myself out there comedy-wise. I know when I first started submitting stand-up shots to Reddit, and I had a second one blow up, the first criticism was that my font was like hard to read, and I was like, all right, if that's the criticism, great, because I'm really concerned about people being like, this isn't funny, don't post this shit, if that's the biggest criticism, great.
Your font sucks, kill yourself.
Should we get the episode started?
Wait, didn't you have a story?
I mean, my story's a little long, so I don't want to,
I do want to add one more thing. Brett told a story about whatever, and then Jarret segued with, you are describing to a T, and I was really hoping that you were going to go, the lunch that I had today. Take a look at this BLT.
Just egg sandwich.
Just bacon.
A little broccoli.
You see me laughing to myself when you said that. That was what I was thinking of.
No explanation needed, Rob. Whenever you're laughing at something that I don't understand, I just always assume there's a bit in your head that was better than what actually happened. I hope you guys don't mind. I updated the sound of the jar machine. Are you guys ready?
Whoa.
Let's hear it. Wow, it is elaborate.
I hope we can keep that energy up each week.
I guess we'll find out. Our order this week is Anthony, Rob, Jarret, and Britt.
Okay, I was not ready for this to be first, but I have some.
You know what the show is.
Wait,
not a surprise. There's a 1 in 4 chance that you will be first.
So what do I do now?
Oh God, all my bits are on my phone. Does anybody know how to open a phone?
Does anybody have my thumb?
Does anybody have any jokes for me I could use? Can I borrow a joke?
I have all these ideas, but I don't know how to communicate it. What is the whole speech thing where you make noises with your mouth and then people hear it?
I have a Brita filter attached to my faucet, and sometimes I wash my hands with filtered water when I want to feel like a rich person.
I saw this. I liked it.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's a great little line. I wonder what other things you could do, like if you were to brush your teeth with filtered water as well.
Could you say that to complete the experience, you dry them off on a poor person, and then it's you? It's
me. Oh, that's great.
That's really good.
I like that a lot, actually.
I had a suggestion, but it was not that good, so now I don't want to give it.
No, do it.
We'll edit it so that your suggestion goes first, and then it's more like a bill.
Yeah. I'll actually put it before my joke.
I don't know if
Okay,
it's going to
great,
work
great.
because our beards are going to look a little longer when we cut to Brett's thing. So all the comments are going to be like, apparently they have these magical beards that grow into their faces.
Anthony, I have a first thought on that.
Let me just jump right in there.
before anybody else.
I kind of what tickles me about that is that that's probably not what rich people do, and that it's indicative of the fact that you're broke. So it's like because I've never been rich. That's it.
Yeah.
I told you it wasn't as good as Jared's idea.
It's
was
not
great.
no, but it is an interesting perspective because I'm sure they're not flipping their little Brita thing and going like, oh yeah, this is we're living the life.
No,
So it's my
they
poor
wash their
person
hands with bottled
interpretation of what being rich could be like, and it's the lamest version.
Oh, I said they crack open a San Pellegrino. And there you go.
I was gonna say they hire people to just pick each piece of dirt off of them. They have like maids that just manually remove each speck of dirt.
Like gorillas when they're just like picking it off of each other.
Yeah, or like those fish that clean sharks and whales and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they're hired. If you paid those fish.
Do you guys know that old Louis C.K. joke about how poor people always have these fantasies about what it's going to be like to be rich? Like, I'll have a gold car and I'll wipe my ass with live bunnies. It's like, rich people never do that about being poor. They're never like, I guess I'll have to take the bus. And
I don't know if I remember that.
I don't remember that either.
I don't remember it either.
so I guess the answer to my question is you guys don't know that old Louis C.K. joke that I just told you. I do think there is room for Brett's comment in this joke. Like, if you were to go with my tag, you could then start to talk about how that is just your idea of what it is to be a rich person, and how it's probably better, or that's indicative of how far away you are from that life.
Yeah,
that's how you're imagining it.
Yeah, because I didn't even really think about it like that. Conceptually, Brett, that's actually a very funny concept.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
That
Thanks.
that it is.
I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
You know what?
In
Keep it
fact, we have this
Does
trophy for you, Brett. For
Wow,
most
does anybody
improved
else have a-
comment.
It's not as good as Jarrett's trophy. But
For editing purposes, now does anybody else have a tag for Anthony? Maybe Jarret? It looked like you had something you wanted to add.
Yep.
the first thing that people notice about you is your shoes, especially if you're in a bathroom stall.
Ooh,
I like that a lot.
That guy's taking a rich shit. Look at him. He's fancy.
I don't know anything about this guy except that he's got the new Jordans.
And he eats
Trying
a
to think
lot
of an
tofu.
exception to that though, like because you have such a unique look, Anthony. I feel like even in a bathroom stall, they would notice your mustache first, or something like that.
Getting some real mustache vibes off of this guy. I can only see his sneakers, but
Oh, and he's wearing Converse.
This is in a slightly different direction, but this guy's shoes have pants around them. That guy's taking a poop.
what if there wasn't pants around? It was. What did he do with his fucking pants? And then they look over and they're on my head.
The pants?
Yeah, I got the pants on my head. I don't know.
It's pretty weird, Anthony, which I think it works. I think it works for your vibe.
I'm just, there's no judgment here. I'm just trying to let it flow like free writing or
Of
something.
course. I'm sorry, I just listened to an old episode where you were talking about having a lid on your liquid container so it didn't spill all over everything, and so it was a little personal callback for me to see you take a sip of something that didn't have a lid on it. I was like, Anthony did not learn his lesson.
I think, I was watching an episode where I had like a thermos or something, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember I did that one time after I almost ruined all my equipment, and then I went back to this is what I
flirting with
spilled.
disaster again.
I wish when you saw it, Jarret, you had gone, Anthony, watch out! Nice callback.
My brother Tim had this quirk, had this like tick about telling jokes, like in our intergroup setting, and it reminded me of that. Where like he would often, I don't know if either nerves or just showmanship or whatever, he would often just like say a thing like kind of a slick line, and then he'd like take a sip of whatever he was drinking afterwards, just to like kind of sort of like put a little button on whatever it is that he was saying, right? And he would do it often enough that for whatever reason we started making fun of him for that. And then I'm pretty sure it was my brother Steve, who we were at McDonald's and he had a cup and he was like, Tim, you always do that. You always say some line and you whatever. And then he was trying to mimic him doing the thing. But the cup was open and the straw was sticking out. So as Steve tried to do it, the straw like fell into his face and like poked him in the face. We couldn't even get like the impression of Tim off. He's like, ah, damn it. And then Tim so quickly, he was like, not as easy as it looks, huh?
That's perfect.
Ah, it was so perfect.
That's great.
Anthony, I had another idea for your joke. Would you say say it from start to finish again?
Yeah. The first thing that people notice about you is your shoes, especially if you're in a bathroom stall.
Okay, so I don't know where this fits, but I kind of want there to be, I don't know, a weirder example after that maybe, because like that one works out so logically. I don't think it's funny yet, but the idea of like, or you're extremely short, or if
What if you're on Zoom?
Yeah, that's true. Oh, no,
Anthony!
don't do it again.
Anthony!
Brett actually hates that.
Now we're all turned on. Come on, man.
I got Dr. Seuss socks.
So yeah, that's just like a little idea for you to.
Here's an idea. The first thing that people notice about you is your shoes, especially when you stick your feet in their face.
A weird one.
Especially when you kick him in the face. Especially when you kick him in their eyeballs.
I guess it doesn't work if you're like doing karate, because you're usually barefoot.
I mean, I do think that's kind of funny if you were to say, especially when you're doing karate with your shoes on.
I mean, maybe somebody does it with their shoes on. I don't know.
This is a slightly different angle, but if shoes are the first thing people notice about you, which is some common phrase I've heard or whatever, maybe is there something that you now do in order to because of that, so that's why now I put all my something on my shoes, or I don't know what the joke is, but you're doing something, or you're wearing a specific type of footwear in order to get something about your personality across.
People say my best feature is my facial hair, so I put a mustache on my shoes.
I have a mustache.
I gotta say, I think that's in your voice, Anthony.
It's not far off, really.
Here's something I think is in your voice. People say that the first thing that people notice about you is your shoes, which is why I put my Twitter handle on my shoes. And you can follow me at Anthony Kapfer.
I like that.
I do like that. That is something I would do.
Brett, I thought you were just going to repeat his joke, and that was really going to make me laugh. First, here's something I think's in your voice. The joke you just told. Jarret.
And then you're going like this. That always bothers me when comics are like trying to give me a tag for a joke or something, and they're doing the air guitar
That's insane.
while they
That's
while
insane.
they do it.
That's psychotic.
Yeah, that is
So
great.
many comics do that.
Really?
They're like, you could be like, the bathroom stall, and it's like, what the fuck, dude? Is that all I am?
If I'm giving,
I'm like the Chuck E. Cheese guy.
if I'm giving notes to a comic who doesn't do that, I don't like hold the mic and mic stand, or like start pacing around,
Yeah. I got
That's
a good
insane.
tag. Women are just, how moving into the side. Yeah, I don't know. Comics do that a lot.
That's bananas. That's psychotic.
Hey, Jim
What?
Gaffigan, I got an idea for a joke. What if you're like, oh, ketchup?
That's good.
All right, next up we got Rob Ryan.
Woo!
Okay, so I had a joke that reminds me of a joke that Brett told that a friend of his told. So I'll just
I'm trying to do the math on that.
Hold on, I have to take a quick nap and recover from
Brett-
that.
This is like Inception.
all three very funny things. I have to do the math on that. I have to take a nap after that. This is like Inception. Sometimes people will say, well, there's an expression, forgive and forget. But then there's some people who are really, they try to be cool and they say, yeah, I forgive, but I never forget. Which I think is kind of a cool thing to say. But I think it would be funnier and weirder if they're like, oh yeah, I forget, but I never forgive. And you just walk up to someone and you're like, I fucking hate this guy. I don't really know why, but God,
I don't remember, but
something
about
about
this guy.
you. Just gonna
really
punch you in the teeth.
rustling my jimmies.
I forgot, but God damn it, I'm never gonna forgive him.
That is very similar. I think I know which joke it is. It's a joke from Mike E. Winfield, which is people always say I'm good with faces when they can't remember your name. It's like, yeah, it's not going to work the other way around. Nobody's going to just walk up to you and be like, I don't know you, but your name is Jeff.
That's good.
Same structure, but yeah, I like it.
I really like that. I really like that idea, Rob. Do you think there might be room for something like, I don't know. I don't know if it works if you're angry or you're nice to the person, but you think that's just like, oh hey, dude, why do I hate you again? Something like that.
I like that.
I'm trying to think of all the different variations of like when you see somebody that you haven't seen for a while, and just sort of like putting it in that format of I forgot why I'm mad at you,
Yeah.
You know what you did. Seriously, only you know what you did. I don't know what you did.
That's funny.
They forget, but they haven't forgiven.
Yeah.
That does happen. There are things people that don't speak for years and
Yeah.
they don't.
More often than
That is true.
More often than I think the inverse. I think that's the Maya Angelou quote. People won't remember what you did. People won't remember what you say, but they always remember how you make them feel. And that's really what.
Like a natural woman.
That's not Maya
Was
Angelou,
it me?
but
Was it Brett? Was it me or Maya Angelou who said? Remember.
But that's what a lot of emotion is. It's just like a survival instinct to quickly store information so you don't have to remember exactly. You just have to know bad or good without thinking about it. You could just think about it quickly. So like you have a traumatic experience, your body kind of stores that internally so that you can quickly access it.
I like it whenever we tell a joke and Brett relates it to a thing he learned in the book Sapiens. I really thought that was going to get a bigger laugh.
I've never heard that book.
I have that book, so I like it.
Sapiens is like, I was like, what's a pretty popular nonfiction book that kind of relates to the evolutionary biology that Brett references pretty regularly? And so I thought that would be a home run, but never mind. Whoever's editing this episode, leave that in.
I was.
Hey!
Yay!
Oh man.
Yeah, so what if you're like, hey, you, fuck you, and they're like, why? And you're like, oh.
That's for you to know and me to find out.
This might be if you ever want to
Cut that out.
This is for if you ever want to expand the middle part, like the funny thing about forgiving but not forgetting. You know, it's just like you see somebody and it's like, hey, Aaron, hey, you fucked my girlfriend. Hey, I remember that. We're cool, but I remember.
Yeah, the absurdity of the original statement. Yeah, why is that so cool? I've never forgotten, but yeah, no. Hey, here are the keys to my car. I remember that last time you stole it. Woo!
But we're good.
Water under the bridge.
I
That's where my car
wonder
is.
if the joke.
I was trying to think of a water under the bridge thing, but I couldn't think of anything. I like that.
If you remember, if you forgive but you don't forget, it really seems like you didn't forgive. Because you're like, hey, you drove my car into the river. I thought you forgave me for that. I did, but I remember.
Yeah, exactly.
Seems like you're still really upset about it. What are you talking about? I just remember it happening, but I'm over it.
I'm upset about you driving my car into the water off of a bridge? No, I totally forgave you.
No. I remember every gruesome detail that I also forget.
Hey, everybody, let me tell you about this. I'm totally cool with it. I forgave
this guy right here.
This is the guy I was telling you about.
I'm doing the guy. Whoever's editing this, I want you to green screen me out. Put me in Rob's room.
Right here.
Wait, you gotta go on the other side.
Yeah, you gotta go on the other side. This guy right here. You fucked my wife.
I walked in. I remember what your dick looks like.
How about a concept that's slightly related, where like I know Jesus forgives, but I'd actually prefer if Jesus forgets. I think that maybe like help more when I'm into heaven. They're like, you did something, but I don't know what you did.
Get in there.
I can't remember anyway.
It was either jerking off or murdering somebody, but whatever.
But that is kind of what religion, turn the other cheek is a version of that.
I like when somebody does a joke and then Anthony comes in with something straight out of the Bible.
You're talking about Jesus specifically. I'm just
I know. I'm
reiterating.
I'm making fun of Jarret.
like I do it for no reason. You know, when you had that joke about twerking and doing a TikTok video, that reminds me of something that Christ said.
Psalms 82.
That's good.
All right. Anything else for Rob's bit? Forgive and forget?
I had something, but I forgot it.
I forgive you.
Forgive you.
Oh, we're liking these riffs.
We're on fire tonight.
On fire today.
Don't worry, we'll run out of steam by the time we get to Brett. Rob and Brett are peeing. I'm gonna remind you guys to subscribe to our YouTube and to our podcast. Check out our Patreon. We got a lot of cool Patreon exclusive episodes on there. Brett did the high writing challenge. We've got more awesome exclusive content on there. Our live show is going to be up there soon. So yeah, check all that stuff out. Hit us in the comments with what you think your favorite joke was from all the episodes. I got 2 short ones for you guys today. This is the first one. And it's kind of like making fun of all the jokes that I've brought to you guys. It's been difficult writing jokes during the pandemic in quarantine because in quarantine, your experiences are so limited. I ended up only writing jokes about 3 things. The 3 things that were my life in quarantine. Fighting with my fiance, politics, and doing drugs. So all I need to do now is write a joke about arguing with my fiance about when Cuomo is going to legalize cocaine. Okay. And really, that doesn't even feel like a joke on its own. It kind of feels like a setup to an entire set just about like those three things, you know? Like anytime that I then do a joke about fighting with Kirsten or doing drugs or politics, it's almost like a callback to that thing.
To me, that feels like that would come after you've established that this is what you do. But I can see it as a sort of introduction.
Yeah, it might work
well.
also as if I've just done like, 10 jokes about doing drugs, and then I'm like, I sorry I have all these drugs jokes, guys, but I just came out of pandemic and, the only thing that I could write about was what my life was back then, which is just doing jokes and fighting with my fiance.
Can you do a verb for politics as well? Because you have fighting with my wife, doing drugs, and then what is the gerund form of a verb? The ing ending verb.
Getting angry about politics.
Yeah,
Talking
okay.
politics, getting angry. Yeah.
Talking politics, that's good too.
Okay. So part of the reason that I mentioned that is because for whatever weird reason, I want you to say it's so incestuous that when I try to come up with a new bit, I can't even come up with a new idea. I just wind up mixing and matching those things. So either I do a joke about doing my wife, fighting with drugs, something like that. So it's not even different. It's just these three verbs, these three nouns, and those are all the jokes I could possibly come up with.
That's
I mean,
it's like a
getting
grab
angry...
bag, like you're just pulling it out of a hat.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm arguing with my wife. I'm fighting with drugs. Doing politics.
I had the exact same suggestion, except instead of adding verbs, I was just going to say, but now I want new material, so I've decided to fight with my fiance about politics and fight with my fiance about doing drugs.
And fight with my drugs about doing politics.
Also, I did drugs before I wrote that part.
Yeah, I know there's not a lot of meat on that bone because it's just really the kernel of an idea there. Did you guys have anything else for that?
I mean, it is really fun to just to combine those any which ways. Now I've been trying doing drugs and then fighting with my fiance, and that is really fun.
That's great.
I make a lot less salient points when I do drugs and that get angry about politics. Jesus Christ, this fucking Cuomo guy! I forget what I was talking about. Can you believe Trump fucking? God damn, I'm hungry.
I'm trying to work smoking politics into this joke, but I'm having a hard time. But just know that's where my head is at.
What do you fight with your fiance about?
I think the real answer to that question is probably kind of boring. Just like whatever couples fight about. Not communicating well, and when you said this, it hurt my feelings, or whatever. Or,
could that be
like
the your kind of? Could you incorporate that into the joke? But all of your examples are definitely not things that everybody argues about. They're all like outrageous. Typical stuff. I'm always on drugs.
You tried to fix the toilet with an axe. Regular couple stuff.
Normal kind of stuff.
I don't like it when you set your pubes on fire before we have sex. Regular couple things. This is a funny direction. I like this.
You filled the entire kitchen with sea monkeys?
And she's like, not enough.
You call this full? You call this full of sea monkeys?
Those sea monkeys are cops.
Wow, another callback.
Callback to the
to
sea
an
cops.
Episode.
I just had a kind of a separate idea, but the opposite of a minimalist is a hoarder. But a posh way to call yourself a hoarder is just to call yourself a maximalist.
A maximalist.
Well, you could live in a Marie Kondo. You'd have to live in a Marie mansion if you're going to be a maximalist.
Kondo? Because that's her name, right?
Yeah.
But you're doing a play on Kondo?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all.
Sorry,
you
can live in a Marie Kondo, or a Marie Mansion, a Marie Hut, or a Marie Hole in the Ground. If you guys remember from the game MASH. Anybody? Is that a reference that only I get?
I don't know MASH. I never played.
Yeah. MASH was a game
TV show
when you were a kid where you would put out all these options for what your life was going to be like, and then you use like a
Is that
random.
the thing?
Oh yeah.
No, not
Oh,
that.
this-
It was usually on a piece of
it's not
paper.
that?
And
Oh,
you
never
just
mind.
like you pick a number, and then you go around and be like, all right, well, you're gonna marry Ashton Kutcher.
Oh,
You're gonna
okay.
have a billion kids. You're gonna live in a
That's
hole
a
in the
maximalist.
ground, and your job is gonna be spit drinker. Blah.
Oh, okay. This was
When
called
I was
MASH?
a kid, I played Smash, bro.
Yeah.
So too
What is
busy
it?
smashing.
MASH is mansion, apartment, shack, hole in the ground. What's Smash?
Oh. Is this different than Monster
It's
Mash?
fucking.
Sex, and then the rest of those things.
Sex in a mansion.
MILFs.
Sex in a hole in the ground. It's called smashing.
Sex, MILFs, anal.
Sex. Hose.
Sex, hose.
30,000 years ago, people didn't play games like those because they were worried about surviving from bears and.
This reminds me of something that I read in the Bible
Anthony's-
one time.
Anthony's like, the world isn't even 30,000 years old, Brett. 5,000 years old.
I didn't see either of those callbacks happening. I thought Brett's was a non sequitur. I thought Anthony's was non sequitur. It took a while for me to put the pieces together. That was very savvy, guys.
We worked on that while you were
Here,
Yeah. Well, you were doing the Patreon promo.
you guys were
We
texting
were
about
texting.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here is my other short one, guys.
Oh wait, I had.
Oh, go
sorry.
ahead.
That was short.
I think I
That
had
was
one.
very
Oh yeah.
short.
If you see a comic who has like a ton of material, you know he was an anti-masker. Like if he has material about his whole life outside of it, you're like,
yeah.
oh, that guy was an anti-masker.
Like
That guy,
he's
like,
still
Trump.
doing online dating jokes, and he's still,
Yeah.
nothing has changed. Yeah. You know when you're doing indoor shows at a comedy club, and
He's got a real fresh joke about airplane travel, and you're like,
There was a comic I saw who was doing a bit at like a rooftop show about like fucking a prostitute. And I was like, dude, this is not the right time. If ever the right time, but it's not now. Everyone in the audience is like, I don't agree with his decisions.
all right, well,
Yeah, I
here's
think
my
it's
other
not cool.
joke, guys.
Great.
I don't like that men can lie to women to get them into bed. There should be like a reverse penis Pinocchio where every lie that a dude tells to get a woman in bed, his penis gets smaller.
what did you
I like
call this?
that.
A reverse penis?
Reverse penis Pinocchio.
Like reverse penis Pinocchio. That's great.
I like that. Reverse
Yeah.
penis.
Maybe that's
Pinocchio.
it. Maybe that's the whole joke right there. Is I don't like that guy
Uh,
can lie to women to get them in bed.
yeah. He finally gets him in bed, and he's like, "Oh, I guess I'm just a boy."
Great tag.
That is
Great
great.
tag. So yeah, you can get
but
them
yeah.
into bed, but you're gonna have a smaller penis. You'll I guess I don't know if guys with smaller penis enjoy the sex less. The women enjoy the sex less.
Well, they're humiliated.
So I'm kind
Yes,
of
they
like
know.
ruining the woman's life even more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it seemed like it was like at first it seemed like a fun monkey's paw scenario, but now
Mhm.
it doesn't. I don't think it matters.
What
'Cause
about
that's
if
just
it's
one more thing
reverse?
to lie about. He's like, no, I don't have a reverse Pinocchio penis. That's not a thing.
What if it's a reverse Pinocchio penis in that every lie he tells, the girl grows a bigger penis?
The
I would
woman
ruin it
goes,
for him. Yeah.
I was thinking maybe like she could take off his pants and
Every,
be
every
like,
time, by the way, is an additional penis. That's the way I wanted to read Brett's statement. So every lie, she grows an additional bigger penis.
That's why we would
Like
go to
a-
the bathroom
Ten
together
lies.
so that they can count the penises together and find out what the lies were.
So it's like a Medusa.
you'll never know because you'll
Pinocchio
only mention-
penis.
Right.
It's,
But if you saw him in a stall, you'd only notice his shoes. You wouldn't even notice all the...
That's right. I like how whenever you
All
tell a
the
joke,
penises.
Rob always relates it to a word he read about in the dictionary. What the hell was I about
Nice.
to say?
if you look up Bible in the dictionary,
Which is something
what's-
that you could do because we developed language skills when we became Homo sapiens.
You guys can give me a book that I reference all the time whenever you want, so I can be a part of this bit.
Is the Washington Post a book? I meant Huffington Post.
They're both funny.
Yeah,
What would be
they're
a
still-
funny thing for a girl when she takes off your pants and she sees how small your penis is to be like, you didn't are you really like, you know, you're not really CEO of Amazon or, you know, so she knows that he's been lying this whole time, you know, so she sees his penis and she's just like, did you not really invent Facebook or something? I don't know.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I like Pilot. For some reason.
Pilot's not. It's weird. Pilot used to be such a cool job, but pilots get paid so poorly now because of how awful the airline industry is that now it's a really bad job to be a pilot.
And women don't like that. Yeah, it's true.
What about like, if she's like, wait a minute, are those people you said you're big brothering for? Are those your roommates?
And it's his parents.
There was something weird about them being seniors.
I do have a joke about that already where I go, I had a friend who was trying to pick up a girl. She asked where he lived, and he said, oh, I share this really great apartment with a couple. And I was like, that's a really generous way to say that you live with your parents.
That's good.
That actually might fit really well into that joke if I can word it correctly. But I also like it being something outlandish, like a lie that she should have known that he was not Elon Musk, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Are you not really Elon Musk?
Yeah, it
But
might have
wouldn't
to be
she
that
know that
specific.
Elon Musk is married?
No, if she doesn't know what he looks like, she's not going to know that he's married.
Really?
Tesla.
Are you really not Leonardo DiCaprio's manager or agent or something?
That I like that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I liked Are You Not Elon Musk more because I like the obviousness of the lie.
Mm-hmm.
Like she should have known it before. That's funnier to me.
Yeah. Do you think it'd be funny to tag that with, no, I am. I just have a real small dick.
Yes.
And then he gets smaller. He's like, shit.
When he tells the truth, does his penis become larger?
I think it just gets to normal size.
So if he has
Wait, how does
several
Pinocchio
lies,
get
it
his
starts?
nose back to normal? Does he have to tell like one true thing?
I
Is
don't
it on
think
a
it
timer?
goes back to normal.
Pinocchio's nose eventually goes back to normal. He tells a lie and then something happens to make it go back.
No, I think he becomes a real boy.
That has nothing to do with the lies.
But I think
Never-
his nose
never
is
watched
long
the
until he
movie.
becomes a real boy.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
When was the last time you guys saw the movie Pinocchio? Who's got Disney Plus?
I was
I like
probably-
when we try
I
to
was
guess
probably
stuff
10.
that we can look up. I like when we try to feel
I've
it
never
out.
seen it.
Did you say
Did-
you've
did
never
it-
seen it?
I've never seen Pinocchio.
What?
Yeah, I've heard.
Anthony,
Familiar with
come
the
on,
concept.
man. That's my least favorite thing that a human does.
Oh, me too.
You've never seen this?
But Pinocchio? We all saw the same. We all saw all of
No,
them.
we didn't.
Didn't
There's
we?
something, Anthony, that a lot of people have seen that you haven't seen. I promise you.
Let's
Yeah.
find it. Let's find it. And
Yeah,
shame
let's find
Anthony
it
right
right
now.
No,
Well,
he's
I've
just gonna
never
pretend he's
seen-
it all.
Star Wars, Lord of the Rings.
I've never seen any Indiana Jones movie.
You never seen it?
What? The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
Look what you did to my hands. My hands are shoes. Because you haven't seen Indiana Jones.
I grew a tumor! I grew a tumor!
What's Rob doing?
He's
killing
really committing.
I didn't have a cat review.
Mwah!
All right, so that is our next promo.
What a
clip.
great bit. That was a great riff, guys.
But more importantly, Anthony, do you get our point?
Ooh. Ah. I wouldn't have reacted that way if he said Breaking Bad or something. It's just, I feel like there's 4 things that you watch when you're a kid, you know, in our age group at least, and I was just surprised that he didn't see one of them.
God damn, that was fun. Oh. Okay.
Actually,
I guess that's everything for me, guys.
Oh.
So let's go over
All
to
right.
Brett.
yeah, let's do the Brett.
It's Brett
Okay.
Dreck's turn.
Oh boy, I don't know. I'm not ready for this. What? Jeez.
This reminds me of something I read in Huffington Post about how you should always be prepared for success.
I think it was Luke 3:16 where they said, "Be ready for any situation that may."
All right. This is an old tweet. I think that the first guy who poured one out for his homies was just too embarrassed to admit that he spilled. It's like he's at the party, he's a little drunk. He's like, "That was for Jeremiah."
Why Jeremiah?
Actually, I meant Patrick. Patrick is a funnier name.
Patrick?
Yeah.
I like Patrick.
What was wrong with Jeremiah?
I don't know. It feels too old timey. Like I feel like pouring one out for the
I did it for
homies.
Anthony.
Oh, that one was for Ezekiel.
There you go.
Job.
He did say it was the first time someone's ever poured one out for their homies. So
But it's such
That's
a
true.
maybe
it's such a new phenomenon, though. Has that been going on for generations and generations since the?
Maybe.
No, I think it's probably back to, I'm going to guess like 70s, 80s. Probably
Yeah,
the
that's
first.
what I was thinking.
yeah, yeah. Jeremiah sounds a little. I don't know. Pouring one out for your shalomies. That's what it sounds more like.
All right, let's do it again, guys.
It's a biblical name. Stick Jewish.
Yeah, I want the act out to be better. I want the act out to be different. It just because the way I feel like in an act out you have to add something. I think that's the scenario that we all imagine when you give the setup. You know what I mean?
Do you have any suggestions on how to do that other than
Nope.
better?
Nope.
I want you to come to us with better ideas. However you do that.
And then we will have nothing to add, so it'll be great.
We'll call it stand up.
Yeah,
Stand
why don't we
up
just all
comedy.
come here with jokes that we know already work, and then we'll just tell them in order in front of an audience.
Oh, that it is funny
It'll
that
be called Check This Out.
Check out this thing. These things.
there is a sweet spot where the idea has to be developed enough that there's something for us to work with, but not too much. Otherwise, we don't have any ideas for how to make it
we're
better.
gonna work on
And
it.
also we have to have the energy.
Yeah.
That's a part of the sweet spot. Everybody has to not be tired.
Everybody has to have not just done a 5-minute freak out, act out. Maybe it happens at a funeral.
That's funny.
Oh, he accidentally pours it on the body. He's like, that was for him.
Yeah. Someone got too drunk at a funeral, and they're just like, I miss him. That's for him. This one's for you.
There you go, buddy.
This one's for you, and you, and you.
And then he goes out to the graveyard and he's like, for all my homies. Come on. It's a thing. This is a thing that people do.
I wonder if maybe he tried other things first, like the mistakes that he made, and that was the only one that stuck as like a trend.
Like he tripped.
Yeah, he's like, that's for my homie.
They're like, that doesn't even make any sense.
He's
He
eating burgers
fucked up
and
his
he-
taxes.
You got a little mayonnaise there. That's for my
For
homie.
my homie. Yeah, that's really funny. I like this.
Homies.
Oh, this stain right here? Yeah,
This
that's
is
for
for my
Todd.
I gotta repeat this one because
It was a dry cleaner, so this one's for Todd.
You fuck up your taxes. You get an
This is for
audit.
my
It's
homies.
like you owe $2,000 more than you reported. Oh, that was for my homies.
And it didn't hold up in court.
Yeah, your homie's on the inside for tax fraud. Which, by the way, I had a question on. Is it for homies on the inside, or is it for homies who've passed, or is it both?
Ooh,
Or
yeah.
forget
I always
what
thought it was
the
for homies
actual
who
thing
passed.
is.
Yeah.
Who
It's
passed?
for
I thought?
homies who are dead.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
but that's
Why
fun. That's a
would
funny
I
question to be asked for while you're in prison. Is like, hey, what are you in for? My homies.
Oh, if that was what it was, but it's not.
Did you kill your homies?
No, I didn't report $2,000 of my taxes for my homies. For my homies though, for my homies,
Oh, for the homies.
right? We're cool.
Yeah, I like.
What if
I
the
need
homie
liquid
drowned?
spelling.
Then him doing that is totally
Very
inappropriate.
insensitive.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Where does it come from? I mean, is it the fact that you are not drinking this amount? So it's like, that's like a sip that he would have had type of thing.
Yeah, I think that's it. But again, we're just feeling it out.
We don't know.
Because-
I think it comes from a scene in Pinocchio.
Hold on a
But there's
second.
no way to know.
Hold on a second. That's funny in itself because it's like that's not how people drink. It's not like you get a beer and you're like, "Hey, Steve, you take a sip first."
And then Steve's like,
Get on the ground. Let me pour one out for you.
That's where he would have been. He loved when I fed him.
I
fed him a 40.
he was short and he had a mouth on the top of his head.
And I used to feed him 40s.
Unless he was already passed out on the ground with his mouth open.
That makes sense.
That's
Like a
that's
cartoon
how they
drunk.
remember him.
Also, if you're his homie and that, like, for some reason doing that, like, gets him a sip in heaven or wherever he is, like, it's probably like, wait, can I have a little more?
Can't even get a buzz from that.
I get one drop.
The only booze that you get in heaven is when people pour one out for you.
Stingy ass motherfuckers.
Then how come the priest doesn't
makes me
do
think
that
of,
in church? They don't.
Get the fuck out of here. I was going to do that.
What, really?
Whoa.
Oh,
I actually I had the body
Oh.
of Christ in my hand, and this was going to be the cup
Oh,
of salvation.
man. Dude,
I was like, what
wait,
if a
I'll
priest-
edit
what if
me
a friend
out.
of a
Just
priest
do-
dies?
yours is better. Just forget I said. Just do
I was
it.
going to
You got-
say, yeah, like, what if a friend of a priest dies? You go, body of Christ, cup of salvation, and one for my homies.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Good call, Anthony.
This is
No, I mean, I'm letting him just do it.
Oh,
I
well,
wasn't
it's
giving Anthony
definitely
credit.
with the act out. It's definitely
Yeah.
going to be better. We just both have the same
That's
sort of.
really
idea.
That was
funny.
so funny that you got to the same spot.
Here's something interesting that you guys might not know, and it's not funny. It's just a fun fact. I was an altar boy for 2 years, and it is a great bad. It's a very verboten to drop the wafer, the Eucharist, after it has been turned into the body of Christ.
Oh, they do not like that.
Yeah.
Um,
If you ever see that, like the altar boys will have like a little plate underneath just to catch any crumb
Yeah.
that might be going from the thing to the mouth.
I was an altar boy as well, so I'm familiar with the plate. I thought you were Jewish.
I was not raised Jewish. I was
Oh.
raised Catholic because my mom wanted us to be raised Catholic, and my dad did not give a fuck.
Oh, okay.
Sweet.
And you were raised Puerto Rican, right, Anthony?
I was raised Puerto Rican Catholic. It's,
But
there's
That's
Roman
because his
Catholic.
mom wanted him to be. His dad didn't care.
A little bit unrelated, but I was once writing radio prep, and one of the headlines was that they were now making gluten-free Body of Christ waivers, and my joke was, I guess it comes from the beach body of Christ.
That's great.
I love that. That's great.
Great episode, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody at home. Enjoy the outro. Check out our live show.
If you guys want to understand more jokes, pick up the books Sapiens and the Bible.
And the dictionary and the Huffington
And the
Post. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check back for more individual clips and full episodes every Monday, or you can listen wherever you enjoy podcasts. If you want to support the show and get access to special fan-only content, go to patreon.com/ITAPod. That's ITAPod as in Is This Anything Podcast. Relevant links in the description. Take care.